My best friend was pregnant, so of course, the first thing I did was drag her to my ex-boyfriend's hospital for her checkup. Dr. Leo Shun looked up as I practically bounced into his office, Chloe nervously following behind me. A slow, knowing smile spread across his face as he took in my overly enthusiastic grin. "Yours?" he asked, his voice completely flat. I froze, my excitement deflating instantly. "Wait, what?" He leaned back in his chair, clearly enjoying my confusion. "The baby yours?" "No," I replied immediately. "Then why are you grinning like someone just handed you $1 million? I was caught off guard, speechless. My best friend was expecting, and I was going to be a godmother. That was reason enough to celebrate on an epic scale, which explained why I had dragged her into Leo's office on a Wednesday afternoon, right during his lunch shift. The place was empty except for him, and I could already imagine holding a tiny, chubby little human I could spoil mercilessly and then hand back as soon as it cried. Pure joy. I probably looked like my face was splitting in half from my grin. Recovering from his first jab, I tried again, puffing out my chest with all the pride of someone announcing a Nobel Prize. "Leo, my best friend is pregnant." A flicker of amusement crossed his eyes, and I knew he wasn't done teasing. "Mine." "What?" My brain stalled. I glanced at Chloe, then back at the man who had haunted my thoughts for the past 2 years. I huffed in indignation. "Of course not yours. What kind of joke is that?" He leaned forward, steepling his fingers, the picture of professionalism, except for that glint in his eye. "So, is it yours?" I blinked, utterly stunned. "What? Is the baby yours?" he repeated, unflinching. "No," I said again, shaking my head. "Then why are you smiling like you just hit the jackpot?" Before I could fire back, he added, "And if it's not mine and not yours, what are you doing in my office?" That finally sparked my temper. "Leo, does your family own this hospital? Since when do I need your permission to be here?" "They don't," he said smoothly, barely missing a beat. "The dean's name is Shaw. My name is Shun. No connection." I let out a few sharp, frustrated huffs. "Well, that's all there is to it. You're a doctor, right?" I brought Chloe for a checkup. That's what people do at hospitals. For a brief moment, Leo's smile softened, warm and genuine. "Riley, anyone watching would think you're the one expecting. I don't remember you ever looking this thrilled when you were with me." I rolled my eyes, refusing to be guilt. "Leo, I'm going to be a godmother. I get to be excited. Just because you can't celebrate someone else's happiness doesn't mean you get to ruin mine." A faint blush crept up his neck. "Riley, don't be ridiculous." I was about to fire back another jab when the office door swung open and my cheerful energy drained in an instant. Cold dread wrapped around me like a vice. Oh, God. This was it. The end of everything. All three of us, me, Chloe, and Leo, jumped to our feet, a triangle of awkward tension forming in the small office. "Dr. Evans," I squeaked. "Dr. Evans," Leo repeated, his voice formal, trying to mask surprise. "Dad," Chloe whispered, barely audible. Leo's head snapped toward me, his expression a perfect mask of confusion, eyes practically screaming. "Dr. Evans is her dad?" I ignored him. Chloe had just said it herself. What more confirmation did he need? "Riley? Chloe? What are you doing here?" Dr. Evans asked, brow furrowed. "Is everything all right?" Chloe's hand found mine, squeezing tightly. I shot a desperate glance at Leo, silently urging him to hide the patient file, Chloe's file, on his desk. But he just stood frozen, completely oblivious to my silent pleas. Useless. Totally useless. "Dad." Chloe stammered, eyes darting around. Then she took a deep breath and dropped the line that sealed my fate. "Riley's pregnant. I'm just here for her appointment." My knees went weak. The urge to collapse and bow before my best friend's betrayal was overwhelming. "Chloe, Chloe, Chloe. We've been through everything together, and now this?" She gave a tiny tug on my sleeve, eyes silently begging me to play along. "Fine. For the sake of our 20-plus years of friendship, from scraped knees on the playground to first heartbreaks, I'd take the hit." My face burned crimson. I squeezed my eyes shut. "Yes, Dr. Evans. It's me. I'm pregnant. Chloe is just here for support." Chloe let out a shaky sigh of relief, and I mirrored it. The lie was out. Surely her dad wouldn't doubt it now. Then the door opened again. "What's happening in here? Is there a celebration I don't know about?" "Dad," I croaked, a fresh wave of panic flooding over me. "Dean Shaw, Leo said, astonishment lacing his tone as he glanced between the newcomer and me. Your dad? His eyes seemed to ask. No time to answer. Dr. Shaw, Chloe whimpered, nearly collapsing. I grabbed her arm to steady her. This wasn't just awkward anymore. This was a full-blown disaster, a 5-car pileup of embarrassment. Well, Bill, Dr. Evans said, turning to my father with a huge grin. Congratulations. Looks like you're going to be a grandfather. He clearly had no intention of keeping the news private. My dad's jaw practically hit the floor. Desperation prickled my eyes, and I glanced at Chloe, whose face was twisted in sheer agony. A lump lodged in my throat, making it impossible to speak or swallow. I wished the floor would just swallow me whole, water the spot, and maybe in 18 years, a less disastrous version of me would sprout. Dad, My brain was screaming at Chloe. What do you mean I'm pregnant? I'd love to be, but Leo isn't exactly cooperating. It was all my fault. I should never have dragged her here, just to flaunt my excitement in front of Leo. I'd completely forgotten that both our fathers worked at this very hospital, and of all times, they had to walk in together. It didn't make sense. My dad, the dean, should have been buried in administrative meetings. Dr. Evans worked in internal medicine. Why on earth were they both in the OB/GYN wing? Who's pregnant? My dad finally asked, his voice tight with uncertainty. Chloe was silent. I was silent. I met Leo's eyes, sending him a desperate, silent plea. He blinked, puzzled, then blinked again. I blinked harder. Nothing. This was hopeless. Chloe's palm was slick with sweat. Mine wasn't much better. Dad. Not me. Not Chloe. Leo. My heart stopped. Leo, you absolute moron. That's my dad, not yours. My father turned to Leo, expression unreadable. Excuse me, Dr. Shin? What did you just call me? I jumped in, trying to smooth things over. Dad, this is Leo Shin. I know his name, Riley. Quiet. Dr. Shin, please continue, my father said, eyes still locked on Leo. Leo shot me a helpless look. I ducked my head. Not my problem. Not happening. Chloe stepped toward her dad, apparently ready to clarify. Relief washed over me, finally, some sense. And then, the universe decided we hadn't suffered enough yet. The door opened again. A tall figure appeared, baseball cap low, sunglasses on, Doc Martens clomping against the floor. He froze. Holy crap. Dad? What are you doing here? Oh no. Ethan. My completely unreliable older brother. His eyes were wide with panic. You all know? Know what? I asked, completely lost. How did you know my girlfriend is pregnant? Ethan stammered. What? My shock was immediate. Ethan, you have a girlfriend? I couldn't believe it. Ethan, perpetual playboy, whose relationships never lasted more than a week, had a girlfriend? Who on earth would fall for him? Who is she? Where is she? I asked, my own panic forgotten for a moment in the face of this juicy gossip. He shook his head frantically. I'm alone. Ethan, my dad's voice was calm, dangerously calm, the kind that made your stomach sink. You will stand here and explain. Riley, stop interrupting. I want to know everything you've been hiding. My stomach sank. I shuffled back, planting myself beside Leo. Bored and restless, I sneaked a hand toward his white coat. Our fingers brushed lightly, close enough for a private, secret connection in the middle of this chaos. Are you hungry? I whispered. The once cool, composed Leo now looked like a confused, helpless puppy. Are you hungry? I whispered again, slightly louder this time. What did you say? He still couldn't hear me. Riley, both of you, stop whispering and step apart, my dad barked. Dad, I started, but one look from him shut me up. I stepped back from Leo. Just as Ethan opened his mouth, Dr. Evans kindly intervened. Bill, we've still got rounds to finish. Let's handle work first. I could have hugged him. What a saint. I silently wished him infinite good karma. All right, let's go, my dad said, heading toward the door. As soon as it clicked shut, the four of us exhaled in unison, relief washing over us. Okay, I said, snapping into my crisis leader mode. Here's the plan. Everyone sits down and explains what's going on. We need our stories straight, so we don't trip over each other later. Gossip was one of my favorite pastimes right after teasing Leo, and this was premium material. You first, Ethan, I said, eyes gleaming. What's going on with you? Yes, Bill. Who's the girlfriend? Chloe leaned forward, practically vibrating with curiosity. We might arrive late to the gossip party, but we never missed it entirely. Why should I tell you guys anything? Ethan grumbled, arms crossed. I gave his shin a sharp kick. Are you talking or not? Don't waste our time. He sighed, relenting.
Fine.
My girlfriend, she's the daughter of one of Dad's old classmates. I nearly fell back. Wait, what? Dad's classmate? Are you serious? Riley. Ethan snapped, face flushing. Let me finish. She's Audrey Zhao. Audrey Zhao. Leo blinked, stunned. The Dr. Audrey Zhao from our university? Genius-level research doctor? If Leo was shocked, I was practically frozen in disbelief. Audrey Zhao, brilliant, kind, beautiful, was dating my brother? Oh my God, I whispered. Our family's golden retriever somehow caught a unicorn. Excuse me? Ethan looked offended. Am I really that bad? I gave him a pointed look. Audrey must be blind, or maybe the universe was just laughing at us all. I silently vowed to light some incense for ancestral luck. Ethan and Audrey as a couple? My brain couldn't process it. My heart screamed no. Audrey was perfection, brilliant, gentle, graceful, a true genius.
And Ethan?
Well, he was my family's resident playboy, the frog to her swan. I wasn't exaggerating. In my mind, Audrey deserved someone like me, a bubbly, fun, free spirit who could match her intelligence with charm. Every memory of visiting her as a kid, wandering into Coco's bakery and devouring pastries, only reinforced that she and I would have been perfect. I even imagined spamming her with 100 "I love my wifey" memes just to cement my case. Ethan could stew in the corner. Ethan, I said gently, trying to soften the blow, I don't think you're good enough for Audrey.
What?
Riley, I'm not that bad. I stayed silent, pursing my lips. He exhaled, rare defeat in his tone. Doesn't matter. We're basically over. She called me a pretty face with nothing else, planning to keep the kid and dump me. A tiny, wicked thrill lit up inside me. Audrey had excellent taste after all. So where's she? And why are you here alone? I asked. I bribed her best friend, he admitted. She said Audrey had an appointment here soon. I thought I'd sweet-talk the doctor and maybe get a recommendation. Then I walked in and nearly died from the crowd. But enough about me. What's really going on with you two? Who's pregnant? Chloe spoke firmly, voice calm and clear. It's me. It's nothing to do with Riley. I was about to praise Chloe for finally being honest, then remembered she had literally thrown me under the bus just minutes ago. I shot her a look. Oh, now you decide to be brave? Where was this courage when your dad was around? So, who's the father? Ethan asked, his curiosity fully activated. It's my crush, Chloe said vaguely. And who's that? I pressed, determined to know everything. Well, he's someone you.
What? Me?
Are you talking about me? I blurted, completely stunned.
No.
Riley, of course not.
I mean someone you know, she clarified.
Someone I knew? My mind raced. Ryan? Alex? Josh? Chris? That's basically everyone I know. Ethan's gaze suddenly landed on Leo. His tone casual, but his eyes sharp. It's you, isn't it? Leo froze. My dad? What does he have to do with any of this? I almost choked on my own saliva. My brother's mumbling was hazardous to the public. I smacked Ethan on the shoulder. Focus. This is Chloe's baby. Leo is my boyfriend, my partner. Nothing to do with him. The moment the words left my mouth, I caught Leo sneaking a look at me. He looked like a mouse who had just stolen a piece of cheese, hope shining in his eyes. What was he expecting? A medal? He looked so endearingly goofy I nearly laughed. Was this really the same aloof, brilliant doctor I'd chased for years? I had to resist lecturing him. Leo, 28 not 18. Stop the puppy dog eyes. Turning back to Chloe, I asked, So, who is this mystery man? He's Ryan's cousin, she admitted. Kind of a CEO, not one of those overbearing types. Totally my type. I met him while he visited my grandfather, and, well, it was love at first sight. I had to hand it to her. Chloe didn't mess around. We didn't have time to sit and hash things out. By 3 o'clock, my dad arrived early to pick us up. Usually, he didn't get home until evening. Dad, why are you home so early? Ethan asked casually. What do you mean early? My dad snapped. I bit back a laugh. Nice try, Ethan. Sucking up to Dad never worked, and today was no exception. Early, my brother muttered, just as my dad rewarded him with a sharp kick to the shin. Our little parade left. Chloe and I rode with Leo. My dad and brother drove separately. Dr. Evan stayed behind, buried in work, apparently eyeing the vice dean position. Chloe's house was just around the corner. Our families had always been close. I thought the hospital drama was the weirdest part of the day. I was wrong. As I neared home, I heard Mom's voice from the living room. Walt, maybe you should come back tonight instead?
I watched my dad stumble slightly.
I bit my lip to keep from laughing. Oh, Dad, poor thing. Leo, ever the cat-like protector, reached out and steadied him. My boyfriend, infinitely more competent than my clueless brother. Mom's voice rang out again, each word slicing through Dad's composure. Actually, Walt, why don't you stay? Let me just call him and see when he'll be back. I couldn't help grinning. Walt? Who's Walt? Some mysterious other man? Even if Dad's heart was perfectly healthy, I was convinced this stress was not helping. Dad cleared his throat as he entered the house. Mom's face lit up.
Bill.
You're home early. Walt just came looking for you. I was about to tell him to come back tonight. Come in, everyone. I'll wash some fruit. She bustled past, only noticing us after she turned.
Oh.
You're all here. Chloe, sweetie, come in. And who's this handsome young man? Ethan, a friend. She waved them to sit, disappearing into the kitchen with fruit. Walt was kind-faced, gentle, and approachable. Dad looked apologetic. Walt, sorry. Something came up. Another time. Walt clapped him on the shoulder. No problem. We'll hit the court later. Basketball? Dad was nearing retirement. Well, age is just a number. Dad surveyed our little group, expression stern. Everyone sit. What's wrong? Mom asked, returning with fruit, eyes gleaming with curiosity. Riley, Dad began, voice low, serious. I want the truth. Who's pregnant? Ooh. Mom leaned forward. She thrived on this type of drama, the over-the-top romance and CEO-level chaos. I opened my mouth to speak, but Dad held up a hand. Leo, you tell me. I can't trust Riley's word. I pouted. Typical dad, sweet daughter when in a good mood, pathological liar when annoyed. The duality of it all. Dr. Shaw. Leo began carefully, his tone steady and respectful. Riley and I have been together for 2 years. I honestly didn't realize you were her father. We had a bit of a misunderstanding, but we're good now. I actually wanted to meet you and Mrs. Shaw before, but Riley kept putting it off. I shot him a glare. Really? You're throwing me under the bus now? When Leo finished, Chloe spoke up, her voice trembling slightly. Dr. Shaw, it's actually me. I'm the one who's pregnant. Riley was just there for support. When my dad suddenly showed up, I panicked and lied. I was planning to explain later, but then you arrived, and he must have misunderstood. In one breath, Chloe managed to clean up the entire mess. Within minutes, the chaos surrounding me, Leo, and Chloe was finally over. Then Ethan started talking about his situation with Audrey, and my dad's face grew darker by the second, his mustache twitching in pure disapproval.
Huh.
Looks like Dad agreed with me. Ethan definitely didn't deserve her. It was clear my brother was doomed to a long lecture, but the rest of us had other priorities. Chloe left to call her crush, and I latched onto Leo's arm, desperate to escape before Dad's temper spread to me. I leaned into him dramatically. Leo, I can't take another step. Carry me. He gave me a smile that could have melted ice, gentle, patient, infuriatingly charming. I'd read enough of my mom's romance novels to call it a devilish grin. Leo had already taken the rest of the day off, determined to sort things out with me. And no, not that kind of sorting out. The man was probably planning to lecture me to death. We headed to his apartment, a cozy city condo his grandfather had bought for him. It was small but familiar, warm in that way only shared memories could make it. The moment I stepped in, I felt a pang of nostalgia. This was where we'd once lived together. Same walls, same scent, same quiet comfort. Leo, sweetheart, I said, piling on the charm. I'm starving. Will you make something for me? Begging and pouting were my lifelong talents, and Leo was defenseless against them. I could probably win gold if manipulation by cuteness were an Olympic event. As soon as he headed for the kitchen, I slipped into his bedroom on a secret mission. It didn't take long to find what I wanted, one of his crisp white shirts hanging neatly in his closet. People say a boyfriend's shirt is more alluring than any designer dress. Well, time to find out. After a quick shower, I stood before the mirror, cheeks glowing, lips parted, heart pounding. Leo Shun, I whispered to my reflection. Tonight you're mine. Or my name isn't Riley Shaw. From the living room, his voice called out, "Dinner's ready." I walked out, draping a hand around his arm, fingers trailing up his sleeve. "Dinner can wait." He glanced at me once, took in my outfit, or lack thereof, and immediately turned to switch on the AC. "Aren't you cold?"
What are you doing dressed like that?
I planted my hands on my hips. "Excuse me? I put this on for you to look, not to ask if I'm cold." He chuckled, disappeared into the bedroom, then returned with a towel. He started drying my hair, gentle but clumsy. "Hey, careful. You're going to pull it out." He smiled. "You came out with wet hair. You'll get sick." I was too lazy to dry it. Being lazy isn't an excuse. You need to learn to take care of yourself. I pouted. "If I did everything on my own, why would I need you?" He laughed softly. "That argument makes zero sense." "I'm giving you a chance to be useful, Dr. Shin," I teased. "You should thank me." He sighed in defeat. All right, but we need to talk." That shift in his tone made my stomach flip. Serious Leo was my least favorite Leo. "Why did you say you wanted to break up again the other day?" he asked, sitting me down. "You can't throw that word around like it means nothing, Riley." I blinked innocently. "I was wrong. I'm sorry." He frowned. "You've said it too many times. When I pulled a night shift, you said you wanted to break up. When you failed your driver's test, you said you weren't good enough for me. When you stayed up 7 nights straight reading novels on your phone and gave yourself a headache, you thought you were dying and wanted to break up again." I winced, hearing it all listed like that was painful. Okay, maybe I was a little dramatic sometimes. All right. I get it. I was wrong," I said quickly. "I promise I'll never say it again. But this time, it wasn't my fault. You're the one who refused to have a baby with me." He tugged me toward the dining table. "Eat first. We're not talking about this now." "Forget dinner," I whined, clinging to his arm like a koala. "We have more important things to discuss. You were just saying you were hungry. I cooked for you, and now you're refusing to eat." I changed my mind. I shot back, half pouting, half grinning. "Don't you think I look amazing in your shirt? Look at these legs."
He sighed.
"Aren't you cold?" I groaned. "If you ask me that one more time, I'm going to scream." I pointed at him dramatically. "Leo Shun, listen to me. From the moment I met you, I already had our future kids named. I chased you for 2 years before you finally fell for me. Do you really think I dress like this just to be asked if I'm cold? We have serious business tonight." He ruffled my hair. "You don't need a baby, Riley. You are the baby."
Ugh.
"You're impossible," I snapped, glaring up at him. "If you don't cooperate tonight, I swear I'll break your legs." He laughed softly, eyes full of warmth. "You're unbelievable. You know that?" And that's exactly what I loved about him. "Leo." I squeezed his hand tighter, eyes gleaming with mischief. "You've already named our 2 imaginary kids. Maybe it's time we made them real." He opened his mouth to argue, but I quickly slapped a hand over it. "Don't even think about talking. One more word, and I'll break all 3 of your legs." Leo chuckled against my palm, that infuriatingly charming smile tugging at his lips.
Ha!
Victory achieved. I laughed triumphantly, basking in my win. "Focus." Leo's voice dropped to that low, husky tone that always made my brain short-circuit. "You need to focus, little one." "Little one? Little one? Don't call me that. You're the little one." "Am I?" he murmured, amusement glinting in his eyes. Then hush. "Leo is just unbelievably gentle," I sighed dreamily later that night, phone pressed to my ear. "I love him so much." "Gentle?" Chloe's voice crackled through the speaker, practically dripping with curiosity. "Define gentle. I want details." I groaned. "You expect me to just tell you that kind of thing?" "Oh, please. I literally paid for a premium membership to your story site just to support you. What's the point of premium if I don't get exclusive gossip?" I ignored her, flopping onto the bed. Leo was working the night shift, and it was barely day 1 without him. I already missed him, badly. We were heading to my grandparents' place that weekend. My brother, Ethan, was unreasonably excited. When I asked why, he declared that his lifelong dream was for Dad not to waste our grandfather's billion-dollar fortune. "Dad's such a good guy," he bragged. He never touched a cent of Grandpa's money, which means one day, it'll all be mine. I laughed and gave him a playful kick. Dream on. Grandpa told me when I was 5 that everything he owns would go to me. Grandma even gave me the family heirloom bracelet, the one that passes to the women, not the men. Ethan snorted. You make it sound so believable. Who'd fall for that? I just shrugged. I was telling the truth. Whether he believed it or not wasn't my problem. By Saturday morning, Ethan went ahead to visit them first. A few hours later, I showed up with Leo. Being Grandpa's favorite granddaughter had its perks, after all. Grandpa immediately took to Leo, beaming like he discovered buried treasure. Look at this young man, he said proudly to Grandma. Tall, polite, handsome, a doctor. Our granddaughter really knows how to choose. Ethan tried to edge into the conversation, but Grandpa waved him off. You're not getting any younger. Why are you still single? Stop loitering and find yourself a wife. Then Grandpa turned back to me with a grin. You know, my old business partner wanted to introduce you to his grandson. But look at you, finding someone amazing all on your own. I preened under the praise. Was his grandson good-looking? I asked innocently. Instant tension. I could feel Leo stiffen beside me, jealousy radiating like heat from a stove. Grandpa laughed. Never met him. But his grandfather's a handsome man, so the grandson can't be far off. His name was Henry Shun. His wife, Rose, was just as beautiful as your grandma back in the day. Grandma smiled. Rose, yes. Such a lovely woman. What was their grandson's nickname? I asked, pretending curiosity. Grandpa frowned and thought. I forget his real name. Everyone called him Scamp. I burst into laughter. Scamp? Seriously? Don't laugh. Grandpa scolded. Back in our day, humble nicknames brought luck and long life. Leo suddenly cleared his throat. Grandpa, my grandfather's name is Henry Shin. My grandmother's Rose. And my childhood nickname was Scamp. We live on the east side of town. Could it be the same family? Grandpa's eyes widened. Well, I'll be. What a coincidence. Just then, Ethan jumped in again. Grandpa, I need a favor. My friend gave me a white puppy, but Mom and Dad won't let me keep it. Could you and Grandma take care of him for me? In your dreams. Grandpa barked. We already have 2 dogs. Isn't that enough? Ethan blinked in confusion. 2? Grandpa, we only have Buster. Is a single man not a dog? Grandpa thundered. Ethan fell silent, mouth agape. He turned to me, wounded. Did you teach Grandpa internet slang? I sighed dramatically. Brother, you'll never understand the family hierarchy. That night, Leo and I curled up together, everything calm and warm. Riley, he said softly, I just realized something. Why didn't you ever tell me that the hospital's dean is your father? I blinked. Oh, that? No reason. I didn't want anyone thinking you got special treatment. You don't need connections, Leo. You're already amazing on your own. Then why didn't you let me meet your parents before? Leo asked softly. Oh, that. I snuggled closer, mischievous. No real reason. I guess dating you behind their backs just made it more thrilling. Leo was speechless. Perfect. I grinned, hands poised for attack. Leo, you innocent little thing, give your master a smile. I started tickling him mercilessly. He dissolved into helpless laughter. Ha ha, you're a bargain at twice the price, and there are no returns. I declared, triumphant. Wait, Riley, I want to hear a story, he said, catching his breath. Of course. I began, adopting my most dramatic voice. Once upon a time, there was a little monster who loved fried chicken and soda. Every day, he'd get a whole bucket to himself. The twist. I continued with a wink. One day, they ran out of soda, and in a fit of hunger-fueled rage, he kidnapped the famous author Peppermint Comet online. Her readers panicked, liked her posts to give her energy, and finally, she escaped and finished all her stories. By the end, Leo was nearly asleep, and so was I. But before drifting off, a thought struck me. Leo, I whispered, my 23rd birthday is next month. Let's get married, okay? Okay, he murmured, hand-finding mine in the dark. All I wanted was forever with him. Epilogue 1. 6 months later, we were all playing one of those silly word games. Chloe went first. I have a baby in my belly, she announced. She and her CEO fiancé were glowing. I leaned against Leo. Your turn, darling. I have someone in my arms, he said warmly. Perfect. I cleared my throat. I have love in my heart. Audrey raised her hand, proudly displaying a simple, elegant wedding band. My brother, now my brother-in-law, stared at her like she was a miracle. When his turn came, he froze, then finally muttered, "I have rocks in my head. Is that good enough?" We all erupted in laughter. The family was happy, chaotic, and Epilogue 2. The twins were 3.5 now, and my patience was tested daily. Lily was sweet, obedient, and a miniature version of me. Max, on the other hand, was a tiny whirlwind. "Mommy, can I play first and do homework later?" Max asked innocently. "Nope. Your sister finished hers an hour ago. You're last," I replied, exasperated. "My friend at school wants to be the school boss. Does that mean if I smile at him, he calls me daddy?" I rubbed his head. "Just focus on your homework, sweetie." Leo arrived from his shift, a lifeline of patience. "Max, if you have 5 apples and add 5 bananas, how many do you have?" "None. I ate them all," Max declared, grinning. Leo took a deep breath. "Okay, let's forget math for now. How about describing a picture for language arts?" Max studied the sheet. "Daddy, that dog is so fat." "Focus on the scene, not the dog." "Isn't that a child washing his father's feet?" Max shook his head. "Could be Grandpa's feet." Leo sighed. "Fine, Grandpa it is. But it could also be Big Brother's feet," Max argued. Leo clutched his chest. "I give up. It works." I sighed. "Absolutely right, sweetie. Brilliant, even." Leo tried again. "Go get me an apple." "Red, green, or yellow?" Max asked. "Edible, please." "Big, small, medium?" "Never mind. Get a banana." I ate all the bananas. Max laughed. "And a sausage stick?" "Fed it to the dog." He. This was our nightly routine. A patient dad, a relentless little chatterbox, and me, just trying to survive the chaos. Epilogue 3. It was Black Friday. Leo had barely stepped through the door when Max launched a surprise attack, armed with a neon water gun. "Freeze, Daddy. Don't move. I'll count to 3, and then you have to surrender." Our little troublemaker never missed a chance to start a mock battle. Meanwhile, Lily toddled over, all sugar and softness. "Daddy uppies," she chirped, lifting her arms. Leo bent down, scooping her up effortlessly and kissing her cheek. "The other one too," she demanded sweetly, tilting her head for balance. Watching them, I couldn't help but laugh. Poor Max. How could he ever compete for attention when his sister was such a little angel? While the rest of the world was hunting for deals, Leo was helping me climb ranks in my favorite mobile game. "Get him." "No, not that way." "Leo, go." I barked instructions like a coach on the sidelines. Unsurprisingly, we lost. Again. I cried. "How are you this bad? You're unbeatable when you play on your own, but when you use my account, you die instantly." "Riley," he groaned, trying not to laugh. "Every time you shout, I lose my focus." I leaned over, planted a dramatic kiss on his cheek, and grinned. "Normally, if you'd won, you'd get 2 kisses. But since you lost, you only get 1. Tough luck." He laughed, a sound that still made my heart skip. "You're impossible." When we walked into the living room, Max was in full lecture mode, wagging a finger at his little puppy. "Day-Day, you eat too much. You see how fat you are?" "Nugget, my English is good, right?" His sentences were pure nonsense, but his confidence was unmatched. Nugget, the little rescue dog Leo had brought back from a business trip, wagged his tail proudly. He wasn't exactly handsome, pink nose, mismatched eyes, but he was perfect for Max. We also had Machi, a fluffy white kitten who followed Lily everywhere like her tiny shadow. Leo was playing with Lily, Max was rolling on the floor with Nugget, and I snapped a few photos to freeze the moment. My heart felt full. This was exactly the kind of chaos I'd always dreamed of. That night, Leo held me close, a teasing glint in his eyes. "What's that look for?" I asked, nudging him. "I got you a Black Friday present," he said, voice low and playful. I perked up. "Really? Where is it?" He smiled. "You're looking at it. It's me." I smacked his arm, laughing.
"No way."
"I want to exchange it." "Sorry, no returns," he murmured, pressing a kiss to my forehead. The room seemed to glow around us, soft and warm. Wrapped in his arms, I felt the same spark that had started it all, the kind of love that never faded, only deepened.